Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Allow me.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So much.
Aw. Not to rush you, but we should be going.
Of course.
You drive safe, all right?
I will.
Enjoy yourselves.
Thank you. And don't you worry. I will bring your mother home safe and sound.
Mom, Mommy.
And don't forget to tuck Dog in beside him when he has his nap. That's his favorite.
We won't forget.
Bye, sweetheart.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. See you tomorrow. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye. Have a wonderful trip.
Only one question left.
What's that?
Who's gonna tell Nathan? Uh-huh.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Mommy loves you.
Yep, now that one.
Lucas was a gentleman. He carried down Elizabeth's luggage to the car. He opened the door for Elizabeth. And I do want to mention that it's really sweet of Lucas to say goodbye to little Jack. I mean, he could have just said goodbye, get out of there quickly with Elizabeth. But Lucas mentioned, Lucas promised little Jack that Lucas will bring little Jack's mom back home safe and sound. And I thought that was such a sweet goodbye to a toddler when he doesn't really understand what's going on. Before I forget, Lee mentioned about Nathan in this scene. It's a bit annoying to me, as in like the whole Valley world. Like Nathan doesn't need to know every little detail that Elizabeth doing, whether it's with Lucas or not.
Hungry?
A little.
I had the kitchen prepare some food before we left.
You really do think of everything.
Coffee?
Thank you.
Thinking of little Jack, aren't you?
I am. I'm also just wondering about tonight. I'm so curious to see what Mrs. Wolf is like. I hear she's quite eccentric.
Well, that often comes along with great talent. You should know.
How did you get these tickets? I heard they were sold out.
I asked around. Turns out, the theater manager and I have a mutual acquaintance.
They really went to quite a bit of trouble.
I really thought you would enjoy it.
I appreciate this, Lucas.
Believe me, the pleasure is all mine. Macaroon?
Thank you.
And again proves his thoughtfulness, his caring personality. He thinks of the little things that makes Elizabeth happy, and he prepared a lovely picnic, and he went out of his way to find 2 last-minute tickets to the reading. Like, he didn't have to do that. I assume that he is a very busy man with the saloon and the oil business. Like, he didn't have to do that, but he thought of like a simple gift to Elizabeth that he knows that will make her happy. And it's just so sweet of him to do all of this for Elizabeth for the weekend. And also when Lucas looked over to Elizabeth, when Elizabeth was thinking deeply, it's so beautiful, like how their minds were like interlinked. Like he knew what she was thinking about. And Lucas mentioned little Jack's name out loud, and I think this is the first time. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's very cute to hear Lucas say little Jack's name out loud.
This reminds me of a small hotel in Brussels where my parents and I once stayed.
It has old world charm.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon. I have reservations under Bouchard.
Welcome, Mr. Bouchard. Mrs. Bouchard?
Oh, no,
This is
I'm
Mrs. Thornton, and I have booked a suite for her and a single room for myself.
Of course. My apologies.
An honest mistake.
Lucas and Elizabeth quickly bonded over traveling. Elizabeth mentioned about a place that she went to with her family, and Lucas seemed to know what she was talking about. I thought there was a very quick moment of common interest between the two over traveling. Lucas and Elizabeth checking in. Remember when Nathan followed him into Hope Valley and then he said to Elizabeth, "Are you Nathan's wife?" And now we get to see Lucas' side. Elizabeth got called by Mr. Bouchard by accident, and I thought, okay, well, I guess it's even out the love triangle. If you the first time watching this, like, you know, you would think, oh, is this a foreshadow moment? Again, Lucas' thoughtfulness. He booked a suite for Elizabeth. Like, he didn't have to. Like, he could have, like, booked another separate single room for her, but he booked a suite for her, and that's, like, I assume it's more money than a single room. Very, very generous of him.
Looks like he chopped enough wood for 2 winters. I guess you heard about Elizabeth and Lucas.
Yep.
It's just a reading. I wouldn't bill it up more than that.
I'm not. You brought it up, not me.
So it doesn't bother you then?
No, of course not. Why would it bother me? Free to do whatever they want or go wherever they want.
You just suddenly had the urge to chop wood?
What are you getting at here?
Just making conversation.
Well, I'm a little busy.
I want to focus on Nathan's reaction to Elizabeth going out of town with Lucas. I don't blame him entirely. I mean, if I was in his position, I would feel jealous, honestly. I mean, let's be honest, jealousy, heartbroken, a bit of betrayal, and very disappointed or even angry. I said goodbye to you the other day, and then all of a sudden you went out of town with Lucas. Like, he knew Lucas went to see Elizabeth, but he didn't expect Lucas going to Elizabeth to talk about going out of town. And I do feel for him, but on the other hand, you have to question him, like, how are you gonna react to Elizabeth when she comes back into town?
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
May I? Shall we?
I truly believe that this is the moment when Elizabeth started to realize that there's something more than she expected to be. Like, there's something special going on. There's something good in Lucas, and this is a great opportunity for her to test the waters with Lucas. Like, even though she doesn't label this as a date, she can still, like, test the waters and see how Lucas is with her if she does date him officially down the road. And Lucas called her beautiful for the first time. It's just a sweet, pure moment between the two. And Lucas, again, the gentleman that he is, he offered to put her shawl around her. And his finale, I gotta give it to you, man. Like, you're such a great actor, and I feel like you're so good in, like, the little detail. Like, when Lucas wrapped the shawl around Elizabeth, like, Lucas, like, looked down quick, like, twice, and I truly believe that meant that he tried to make sure that the shawl, like, was loose to the bottom of the dress at a perfect length, like, to make sure that it looked good on her. It's just his finale, your performance, ever since you step onto Hope Valley, like the little things you add to your character.
Thank you.
May I show you the wine list, sir?
Well, let's start with a bottle of the Chateau de l'Orange.
Sounds lovely.
The 95, if you have it.
Of course, sir.
Champagne?
Well, I figure we have plenty to celebrate.
I can't believe we just met Virginia Woolf.
You two had quite the conversation.
Oh, I talked her ear off, didn't I?
Are you kidding? You were as thick as thieves.
I honestly can't remember what I said to her.
Well, what did you think of her book?
Oh, I liked it very much. Her writing style is so unique.
I think she has a very bright future.
Me too. And this book felt very different from her short stories. The unusual narrative perspectives, the dream states, the excitement of youth, the fear of death. Sorry.
No.
What did you think of the ending?
To be honest, I haven't gotten that far.
Oh. Well, how far did you get?
Actually, I have only read the first chapter. Last night.
Oh! I take it you're a bigger fan of her short stories then.
No. Not particularly.
So you bought the tickets just because?
Yes. Just because.
Perfect.
The champagne sound really romantic, even though it's not a date. And then they started talking about the author and the book and the short stories, and Lucas at first seemed like very overwhelmed in a good way. Like he's just like enjoying Elizabeth's passion, just enjoying her company in that moment. And then Lucas' game plan revealed to Elizabeth, and basically, I mean, what he just said in the scene is like, I bought you the ticket because I like you and I want to take you out. I want to do this for you. I want to make you happy. You deserve it. I just want to hang out with you more. And Elizabeth smiled at the end. Yeah, that's like the smile, like, okay, we are on the same page. And it's basically a confirmation to Elizabeth that Lucas does feel the same way as her. She likes him as a person, he likes her as a person. Some haters of Lucas probably say, well, Lucas technically lied to her. I would say that if you like someone and if you want to do something special for them and it's like a new romance going on, like Lucas and Elizabeth, you're not gonna tell them the whole story or the whole reason why you're doing this special thing, because you don't know if the other person will feel the same way for you. So that's where Lucas was standing in this situation. He was shy to tell Elizabeth the real reason why he's doing all of this for her. He doesn't know how she feels for him. He doesn't know if they are on the same page. But Elizabeth smiled at the end, and I truly believe that made him happy and relieved.
This is so good.
These mushrooms are amazing. And I don't even like mushrooms.
Me neither.
So do you miss it?
Miss what?
This. You said that you lived a different life in Hamilton. I'm guessing that that life included the theater and fine dining.
I didn't think I missed it. But after a night like this, it's hard not to. And now that I have Jack, I really couldn't imagine raising him anywhere but Hope Valley.
I know what you mean. If I'm being honest, that's partly what drove me to Hope Valley in the first place. Growing up, traveling, moving all around, I really wanted to find the perfect place to stop and start a family.
I don't think I've heard you mention wanting a family before.
Well, I am in no hurry. My father used to stress the importance of patience, especially when it comes to finding your soulmate. He courted my mother for 5 years before she finally agreed to marry him.
5 years? What took them so long?
You know life. Things get in the way. My father says he always knew she was the one. My mother says she got tired of turning him down. But she loved him. I think she just wanted to be sure.
So, you plan to be patient? Like your father?
I have always had faith that I would know the perfect woman for me when I met her. And I will wait as long as I have to win her heart.
Lucas already knows about Elizabeth living in the city before she moved to Hope Valley, but basically he continued that conversation at the table about her upbringing and why she's in Hope Valley and if she misses the city life and so forth. Elizabeth mentioned that Hope Valley is just a special place for her and she believes it's the best place for her son. And on the other side, Lucas believes Hope Valley is special because it just have that nature of that community, and he thinks that Hope Valley is the best place to settle down and raise a family. And when he said that, Elizabeth was shocked. She knows that she has a son, but Lucas is single, and I assume he never married anyone, and he doesn't have any kids. But he did mention, though, that he's not in a hurry to raise a family, and I think that shows that he is a very patient man, and that I truly believe that he's one of those people that doesn't pressure himself. He's just like, whatever life bring me, you know, I truly believe there's someone out there, and that when it happened, it happened. And of course, Lucas understands that if he does date Elizabeth down the road, he need to be open to little Jack too. Like, little Jack is like part of the package deal. And also, when Lucas mentioned about raising a family, I think that's like a signal to Elizabeth. Like, Lucas is open to having his with her, if that's the case, and that he will be a father figure to little Jack, and that he will be open to having more kids with Elizabeth. I was thinking about Lucas' quotes to Elizabeth throughout his journey in Hope Valley. If you remember the chickenpox outbreak, he told Elizabeth, "You deserve unconditional love." In the weddings episode of this season, Clara and Jesse, he told Elizabeth that he's a hopeful romantic. And then in this episode, he talked about patience and how he is willing to wait for the right woman to come into his life. Lucas is a great friend to Elizabeth, and this deep conversation is like a green light for Elizabeth. Like, she now knows what to expect if she does pick Lucas at the end of this love triangle mess. And at the end, when Elizabeth asked Lucas if he's willing to be patient, he answered her question, but mentally they were talking about each other, but externally Elizabeth asked him that question in general. But I truly believe in the back of her mind she wants to hear what Lucas had to say, because whatever he said will determine how she will feel about picking Lucas over Nathan, and knowing what to expect if she does pick Lucas.
What's the holdup? Come on, Uncle Nathan.
He knows that something happened between Lucas and Elizabeth. I mean, like, how can you not?
I wouldn't know where to start.
Oh, no. Not good?
Oh, Rosemary, it was perfect. Hi, Allie. Hi, Nathan.
Hi, Mrs. Thornton. Hi, Jack. Come on, Uncle Nathan. You promised we'd get some ice cream.
Welcome back.
Elizabeth greeted Allie in a normal way, and then her facial expression changed when she looked over to Nathan. And I assumed that she expected Nathan to not know anything about what happened, but when Nathan said welcome back, it surprised her, and she's like, oh shoot, he knows. And she wonders if she should explain herself to him. She doesn't need to explain to Nathan what happened or why it happened. Like, it's none of his business. Nathan is just still feeling hurt, just very disappointed. Like, he wished he had that opportunity to hang out with Elizabeth on a personal level with no distraction from Hope Valley. But of course, I do believe that he is jealous. I mean, Lucas just like went on another level. It's like Lucas and this is like Nathan. And at the end of the day, it's about Elizabeth and who makes her happy and who she wants to be with. We'll see how this love triangle continues in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode with me. It was so much fun to look back on it, especially that dinner conversation between Lucas and Elizabeth. We'll see if Nathan has a chance to redeem himself and get a better chance with Elizabeth throughout the rest of this season. I hope you're having a great weekend, great week. I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.